Hi Andy, welcome to Lakshmi Study Room. Today our lesson is water. This is the lesson 4 in 6th class science textbook. This is AP syllabus and our lesson name is water. So after completion of this lesson, children will be able to recognize the sources and availability of the water. That means what are the water resources and water will be how much water will be availability of the water on the earth, and understand the importance of the water and explain the process of the water cycle, draw and label diagram of the water cycle, and apply learning scientific concepts in day-to-day life, suggesting ways to cope with the heavy rain or drought, etc. Understand the importance of the water and rain harvesting. Here, see this picture. So now move on to our topic is the water. Here, see in this picture what we can observe. It is a few women are gathered here to take water. So see this picture and observe carefully. And hi friends, I am Sujata from Akkalareddy Palle of Kadapa district. The woman in this picture is my mother. She carries drinking water for us from the well which is away from our village, and it is very difficult to walk all the way by carrying the water pots. It takes lot of time, but it is very essential for us as we can't do anything without water. So we use water preciously. Okay, children, did you understand this? So the place it is a Akkalareddy Palli of Kadapa district, and this picture in this picture the woman what she is doing, she carries drinking water for Sujata's family, and the well is which is far away from their village, and it is very difficult to walk all the way by carrying the water pots. That means in Sujata home there is no tap water. So in not only Sujata, in Akkalareddy Palli there is water scarcity is more. So that's why all of them are pick up the water from the well only. So water in Sujata's family they use water very preciously. I think after listening to Sujata's story, so it is very difficult to get water from far. In Sujata's family, they use water very preciously because they got only less amount of water. Generally, for what purpose do we need water? So we need water for uh, we need water for this. We divide it into three categories. The first one is a domestic use. Domestic means we are using the water in our home for what purpose we are using in your home, for bathing, cleaning of the utensils, and cleaning of the house, and washing clothes, and cooking. So for all these purpose we are using the water. And next one is a agriculture use. So agriculture for planting the plants, and for irrigation purpose we are using the water for agriculture purpose. And the third one is a others, for production of electricity, and in companies and industries we use water very frequently. So where do we get water from? So generally we get water from. So generally we are using the water generally in our home is a it is a tap water. So for tap water, where we get tap water? So we get tap water from underground through the motors. We can get for irrigation purpose. We use tap underground water as well as rain water which was in lakes, rivers, and wells and ponds. So that is also agriculture purpose. So generally so we get water from the resources like ponds, lakes, tanks, and underground water. So is it reverse also? So is it necessary to take care of water resource? Yes, it is very very important because our primary needs are air, water and food. So water is also very very important. Without water we can't live even single day also. So it is a gift for nature, from it is gift from the nature. And some areas people like Kallareddypalli, some areas people are suffering from lack of drinking water also. Some areas are becoming desert, they're becoming desert due to lack of water. If water is not present in some areas, the various areas becoming changing to desert. Okay, so it, if water is scarce, it is very difficult to get food also, because the food is available from agriculture resources. So for agriculture we need water. Without water we can't grow any plants. Similarly for fodder, animals feeder also we need water. And we must preserve water not only for us also, but also it will be used for future generation. Okay, so if we don't take care of water resources now, our future generation will may suffer with water scarcity. So come, let us learn something regarding water in this chapter. Okay, children. So do you know 783 million people do not have a access to clean water on the globe. For example, even nowadays we are also uh, but we are also buying water, fresh water, that is drinking water from the shops, or the boy come to our home and deliver the water tins for us, because even we also we did not get the clean water for drinking purpose. But the tap water is we are using for tap water is for domestic use like bathing, cleaning utensils, washing clothes. For this purpose only we are using. Even for us also, the clean water is not available for us also. But even if you don't use water resources carefully, our future and generation, they don't get water for even domestic use also. So see, we need water to perform several day-to-day activities like cooking food, washing clothes and cleaning utensils. So we can't survive without water even single day. So now let us see water and its uses. So in this activity, divide the class into groups. Let them discuss the uses of water in their daily life. Ask them to make a list and now classify the uses. That means as for one group we allotted domestic use, and for one group we allot agriculture use, and some group we are allotted for others. Okay, so the children will be write some, one group will be write what are the domestic uses of water, and some children will write for agriculture purpose how can we use the water, and for others some group of children will be write other uses is like mm, for industries and for other activities like what are they will be write their own only. So here, do you know our body uses water to regulate its temperature and maintain our bodily functions. That means in our body we need water, we know. So whenever we feel thirsty, we drink water. But in our body, the water, what's the main function of the water in our body? One is regulates its temperature, and the second one is maintain other bodily functions. That means the our metabolic activities like digestion, respiration. So maintain all these body functions properly, we require water. Okay, on an average, the human body requires 2 to 3 liters of water per day for proper functioning. So, every human body, how many liters of water required for human body? 2 to 3 liters. Water helps in the digestion of food and removal of toxins from the body. Even the water will be helps in our body. What purposes? One is digestion of food, and the second one is a removal of toxins. Toxins means poisonous substances. So how much food we digestion is how much is important for us. Similarly, removal of waste is also necessary. So removal of toxins from the body is nothing but a excretion. That means water helps in digestion and excretion. So digestion, excretion, respiration, circulation, also all these called as a metabolic activities are human bodily functions, we can call it as a. This is the reason why water bells are introduced in our schools. In our schools, every 2 periods, every 2 periods, the water bell is also introduced in our schools for 5 minutes for the children to drink the water. So measuring the volume of the water. So how can we measure the water? See, let us see. So Arjun used buckets of water to bath and wash his clothes. So generally Arjun, we also used water for buckets of water for bath and wash of the clothes also. He said that he had used 4 buckets of water per day. Is bucket a measure of the volume of the water used? No, bucket is not a measure of the volume of water used. And how do we measure the volume of the water? How do we measure? So we measure the volume of water or other liquids by using the shape of the vessel containing the water. We can, for example, we can keep water in different vessels. Then how can we measure the water? So often we say a glass of water, bucket of water, bottle of water, etc. So do you know any specific unit of measurement of volume? Yes, water and other liquids have a specific unit of measure. The volume is in liters. So we can measure the liquids and water in liters. So we can simply say 2 liters, 23 liters, 24 liters. So I like that only. So water and other liquids are measured in liters. You will learn about this in later classes. Now let us estimate how much water we using daily. Okay. So how much, the next activity is how much water do we use daily? We use water for different purposes. Can you estimate how much water your family uses in a day and record your estimate in the table? Also think how could reduce the amount of water used and write how much water you can save. Okay, for this you need one table. So you have to draw here. The table is not given in your textbook. So for this we have to draw one table for this. So for this what we can write, the first one is here we can write activity. So for which activity we are using water. Okay. So activity. So next one is a water used. How much water will be used? So how much water will be used in liters? And next one is a how much you can save. And that means how much water you can save. Okay. So write like this. So for example, acting, bathing or drinking. So for drinking, how much water you use? For example, 2 to 3 liters. For bathing purpose 30 liters, nearly 1 bucket. Okay children. So next, washing clothes. So to estimate the amount of the water used, take 1 liter bottle and find out how many bottles of water needed to fill a bucket, a glass, a mug used in a whole day by you and your family, and also calculate. So for this, take one water bottle and fill the bucket with the water bottle. That means the bucket is a measuring for how many bottles of water will be filled with this bucket. For example, nearly this bucket is filled with 30 liters of the water. So bucket is a measure here. We can taking as a measurement of bucket, 30 liters bucket. And for drinking purpose you need a bottle. So water bottle, 1 liter bottle you need required. So, and also calculate the amount of water you and your family were able to save. You have a rough idea of how much water your family uses in a day. With this information, you may be able to calculate the approximate quantity of the water required for your colony and village, town, city. So that means where you are living in that place, you will calculate like this. For example, here one Fill in the blanks are here given. See, for this you will need to know the population as well as in your village or town. Okay, so ask your teacher about population. So if you know your teacher population, then ask your teacher. For example, if you don't know about population about in your village about your teacher, how much population will be present in your village, you will ask your sarpanch also. Okay, so approximate the quantity of water used per day a person. So a person one day, approximately for one day, if you use, think like that, for example, if you use 160 liters per day. Okay, so number of people in the colony. So in that colony, how many people are there? For example, if you think like that, nearly 100 people, we think like that. Okay. So 100 people in the colony, and village, how many people are there? So colony is a one colony. So for example, in village, there are 5,000 people are there. Okay, so approximate the quantity of the used water used per day in the colony. So colony approximately, so we here we did not say exact, so approximate quantity used in the colony. How many people are there lived in the colony? So 100. So for example, 100 into 160. Okay, so 100 into 160 equals to 16. So how many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3. So 3 zeros are here. So 16,000 liters here. 16,000 liters are here. They will be used in the colony. And in village, how many people are there? 5,000 people are there. So 516 how much? 516 80. So here 3 zeros and 1 zero. For 8 lakhs liters. Similarly, approximately the quantity of the water used in the per month in the colony. So quantity of water used per month into 16,000 into 30. 16,000 into 30 equals to, and 8 lakhs into this one. So how much the answer will be? So for 30 days, 3 16 48. How many zeros are there? 3 and 4. Okay, 4 zeros are we should write here. So 48, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 lakh 80,000 liters in the per month in a colony. For this one, 3 8 24. And how many zeros here we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 0, 20. Okay. So 8 crores, 40 lakhs liters here they will be. Similarly, per years also you can do like this only. So for years, what we can do? Similarly, 16,000 into, we can write like this also, 365 days, and 8 lakhs into 365 days. So you can calculate like this and draw like this also. So imagine how much for this colony and village we got this much liters of the water. So imagine, that means if you imagine how much water is needed across the world. So if you think, just you can imagine, so you will feel very wonder about that one. Okay, so where do we get water from? So we get water from different water resources in our surroundings, in most villages, like wells, canals, tanks, ponds, rivers. These are the main sources of the water. So these are all the fresh water resources. So list the sources from where you get water in your village. In your village, you will get water from well or tanks or ponds. Generally, we get the water from tap water from our village. So in your village, you can write in your own words. So are the sources from where you get water for your daily needs and for crops the same? Not or not? So for your daily needs, you get the water from tap water. For crops, so you may get rain water or the water from canals. Water canals or rivers water. Okay, so if you know that, you will bring in your own words. Okay, so do you know water is not only available from the sources such as the rivers and lakes, ponds, but also present in for human beings. We took water as a not only as a drinking water. We can drink the we will get the water from fruits and vegetables also. For example, fruits like watermelon, it contain 90% of water, and vegetables like cucumber also contain a lot of water. That means we get water from water we get water not only from our water, drinking water only. So we get water from vegetables and fruits also, fresh fruits also. Can you suggest some other examples? So do you know not a watermelon and cucumber contain water? Some fruits are also like there, papaya and tarbuja. So fruits like citrus fruits like watermelon, sweet melon, sweet lemon, some fruits like papaya, sweet lemon, and lemon, oranges. So these fruits also contain lot of water, mango. So even our body also contains 70% of water by weight. So think why we take juicy fruits in summer. So we get water from the fruits also. Okay. So how is a well dug? So dug, well dug అంటే బావిని ఎలా తవ్వుతారు? So go to nearby a village, look at a well from where people to get drinking water, and can you estimate the approximate volume of the water in the well? So can we estimate the water how much water is available in the well? So it is not possible. So that's why we collect the information from the elders in the village about the level of the water in the well, over the how much water level will be decreased in the well, how much water will be rising in the well. So we can calculate the information, and we should we can estimate the volume of the water. So is the water level constant or has it changed? Yes, it will be changed. During rainy season, the water level should rises up. In summer season, the water amount of water level will be decreased in the well. And how was the well dug? Have you seen a bore well being dug? Write the process in your notebook. And tapping a groundwater by digging a borewell is a tough job. It is not a easy job. Many people put their efforts in the hard work in this process. We need to appreciate this process and preserve the water. So next. So how well a dug? Okay. So the place where the well is to be dug, select first. That means where can we dug the well, the place should be selected by the people. And workers using crow, bars, spades begin to remove the soil at that place. Okay, they will be remove the soil at this place. Then the process of digging continuously. So similarly, the process will be continuously. How much time it will be required till the water in the underground fill in this level, in this well. So the level of water in the well goes down in the summer. As the winter, the water table will be increases in the during rainy season. But the summer season, why the water level will be goes down in the summer? Because the water table in the groundwater will be goes down. So that's why the water level should be decreased in the summer season. So now let us move on the next. How the bore well being dug. So a bore well is very deeper when compared to the well. Okay. So for this we need some machinery. So the narrow hole drilled into the ground. So water is drawn through a pipe or pump. So generally we used to have water for this purpose, for this mode only. So to depth, to be drilled should be at least 40 meters, nearly 40 meters of the dug will be uh, do digging in the for well or bore well. So bore wells are typically small in diameter, ranging while compared to the well. Okay. So from 4 to 5 to 12 inches only. The diameter of the bore well is a 4.5 to 12 inches. But for well, it is diameter is increases because the some people are involved and it will be dug by the persons, but it will be dug by the machinery. So that's why it's the diameter of the bore well is lesser while compared to the well. Now let us move on to the water on the earth. There are different sources of the water on the earth. We know that nearly 3 by 4th of the surface of the earth is occupied by the water. So is this water is useful for us? So if we assume the whole land is, this one is a whole land, for example, we can the earth. So it is filled by only 1 by 4th of the land and 3 by 4th by the water. But is this entire water will be useful for us? Or can we drink the water available in the sea? No, because it's not useful for us, because it is a salt water. It is not useful for us and it is not drinking for us also. Sea water is a salty, but the water used by us in our daily purpose is not salty. So in our daily life we did not use the sea water for our daily purpose. So it is known as the fresh water. So the water we are using for our daily purpose, it will be called as a fresh water. So water in ponds, puddles, rivers, tube wells and our taps at home is usually a fresh water. That means this water will, what is fresh water? The water in ponds, puddles, rivers, tube wells and our taps are at home usually is a fresh water. So of the water available on the earth, only 3% is the fresh water. To understand this, let us do small activity. So for entire earth, the fresh water availability is only 3%. Okay. So let us move on to the activity 4. So relative amount of water at various vessels. Okay. So take a 20 liters of bucket. Say this one is a bucket 20 meters and 500 milliliters of jug. That means it is a half liter and 150 ml of tumbler and 1 milliliter of spoon. That means how much fresh water is available on the land. We can how much water is available on the earth. We can do this experiment by using, we can simply say how much water is available on the water. Through this experiment we can say very easily and effectively. If the capacity of the bucket is 20 liter, then it represents the total amount of the water present on the earth. So now transfer the mug of water from the bucket to a 500 ml of mug. So mug represent the total amount of the fresh water in the earth, present on the earth. The water left in the bucket represents say seas and oceans. That means this 20 liters of water represents the seas and oceans and 500 ml of water is a fresh water. So the water left in the bucket, next, this water is not fit for human use. This 20 liters water is not useful for the human use. Now transfer the 150 ml of water from the mug to the tumbler. 150 ml of water from the mug to tumbler. So here you should transfer this water. It represents the total amount of groundwater. Finally take 1 by 4th water from the mug into spoon. So the remaining water in the mug represent the fresh water which is present in the frozen form or snow covered in the mountains, glaciers, polar ice caps. So here the mug represents, it is a fresh water, but among the fresh water which was present in the snow frozen form and snow covered mountains, glaciers and polar ice creams. Even we have a half liter of fresh water. Even that fresh water is also contain so much of it is in a frozen form. So this water is also not really readily available for human use. See, the water in the spoon represents the total amount of the surface of the water is available in the all the rivers, lakes, ponds of the world. That means we use only this spoon of water for daily uses only. So it can be taken as a potable water. That means the spoon of water is out of all this bucket of water we are using only one spoon of water. So when such a small amount of potable water is available, then we should be more cautious in handling of water. Is not? Is it not? Yes, it is very important to water is preciously. We can use water preciously. You have read about the different types of the water resources in our surroundings. The water level in them depends upon the rainfall. That means the water table always depend on the rainfall. Generally, we observe the water levels in the wells or other resources go up in a rainy season and down during in the summer season. That means if we observe the water levels in the wells, rivers, but they should be the water level should be raised up in the rainy season. But similarly, they will be go down in during the summer season. So rain is a common phenomenon like air and sunlight in our daily life. So in our daily life, sunlight and air is how much is common. Similarly, rain is also a common phenomenon in our life. Okay, so we generally get more rains in rainy season. Our general observation is that if the sky is cloudy, then there is a possibility of the rain. But clouds do not lead to rains every season. Sometimes we witness the sudden rains also. But clouds do not give rain all the way. But sometimes we suddenly see the rainfall in our surroundings. So, why do clouds cause rains? Okay. Why do clouds cause rains? So how clouds are formed? So whenever the sunlight is formed on the earth on the warm day, the sun heats up the water in from the oceans, seas, rivers, ponds. Then the water will be converted into gases form, that is water vapor. So water vapor. So the water vapor, it will be formed by the process of evaporation. So through the evaporation, the water will be turned into gases form. So whenever the water vapor rises up to the atmosphere and forms a clouds, and whenever the water vapor reaches the higher level, it condenses due to the contact of with cool air and forms a small drops of water droplets. So the tiny droplets remaining floating in the air, higher levels of the atmosphere, and appears as a clouds. After that, these clouds, whenever these clouds got cool air, they remain condensed and forms a tiny droplets in the form of rain. So what is the relationship between the rain and clouds? Sometimes here what they give, sometimes more clouds are formed in the atmosphere. We think like that the rain may fall, but sometimes may not be happened like that. For example, the relation between the rains and clouds. Then how? What can I say? What should I tell you? How clouds are formed? The water turned on the heat summer day. The water turned into water vapor by the process of evaporation. And when water vapor rises in the sky, forms a clouds, and clouds are cooled by a breeze. So then the water present in the clouds and cools and the condensed, and it will be formed as a tiny droplets in the form of rain. So that means the clouds, whenever they got cool air, then only they will be condensed and form a rain. So why don't call clouds cause rain? So the clouds moving in the air are generally at higher levels only. The cool breeze along with the air makes the clouds cooler. So due to this, water vapor condensed and cause the rain. Then when our water vapor condensed and cause the rain. So whenever the warm air touches the, if we warm air touches the clouds, it makes the water turn into water vapor easily, so that clouds cannot always cause the rain. That means we can simply say, whenever the clouds got cool air, they will be condensed and form a rain. If the clouds get warm air, they will do not cause the rain. We can simply say that one. So if they get warm air, they will be formed again water vapor and they move into higher phases. So to understand about the clouds and rains, we need to first something about the water. So in the next video, we will know about this water forms of the water. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Please like my videos, share my videos to your friends and subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon. Thank you.